All right, thank you again for joining us on the bright side. We've been talking about the skin and its relationship to the brain and digestive hormones, its relationship to serotonin and melatonin. This link between the brain and the digestive system and the skin is not one that you hear a lot about. You certainly don't hear skincare professionals talking about the link between the brain and the digestive system and the skin. You don't hear dermatologists talking about it. You hear very few alternative practitioners talking about it, but it's a connection. This brain, digestive system, and skin link is a connection that represents the overall very close connection between physical health, physical well-being, and psychological well-being, mental health, and emotional factors, and the health of the skin. In other words, if you got eczema, if you got acne, if you got psoriasis, you want to look at the overall system of the body, including psychological, mental, and emotional factors. The skin is like a satellite brain. It's like a spy plane or a periscope for the brain. The brain is blind to the outside world. The brain is housed in the dark recesses of your cranium. It doesn't really know what's happening on the outside. In the womb, the developing embryo is formed out of 3 layers. When the sperm hits the egg, you get fertilization. And after that fertilization occurs within days, you get 3 layers that are formed in the embryo. They're called germ layers. And the epidermis, which is the surface of the skin, and the brain and the eyes all arise from the same germ layer. They all come from the same root layer in the embryo. And throughout the life of a human being, these 3 systems are going to be tightly regulated. It all starts when the egg is fertilized. When sperm hits the egg, you get 3 layers that are formed. From that point forward, there's an intimate connection between the eyes, the brain, and the surface of the skin. This is one of the main reasons why eye vitamins can have a protective effect on the skin and on the brain as well. The skin and the eyes and the brain are also important sites of the pigment melanin. Melanin is not the same as melatonin, by the way. Melanin is a pigment. Melatonin has a controlling effect on melanin, but these are 2 different substances. Melanin, the pigment, is found in your brain, it's found in your eyes, and it's certainly found in your skin. In fact, in the brain and the eyes, they call it neuromelanin, and it conducts electrical energy. Melanin is super, super highly electrically conductive. In fact, it's being used in research for its electrical conductivity properties in terms of building computers and other electrical kinds of gadgetry. Scientists are researching the use of melanin as an electrically conducting organic substance that can be used in digital equipment and computers. The electrical conductivity of melanin plays a role in brain health. Parkinson's disease is the result of the death of cells that make neuromelanin. So the skin can be thought of as the brain's eyes to the world, the brain's periscope into the outside world. But instead of light, the way the eyes work, the skin communicates to the brain via chemicals called hormones. When the skin is threatened, especially by the sun, it's going to communicate its distress to the brain by turning on the production of hormones, especially serotonin. Serotonin stimulation by the skin is perceived by the brain as some kind of distress. Something is going on, usually the sun. Conversely, when the skin is not being threatened, it's going to communicate that message, this safety message, via melatonin. Melatonin from the skin tells the brain all is right in the world. Serotonin from the skin tells the brain, hey, we got some kind of stress or we got some kind of emergency. Remember, serotonin is a daytime hormone. Its role is to keep us safe during the dangerous daylight hours on the African savanna. The biggest threat to the skin, of course, is the sun, and this is why we can use exposure to the sun to upregulate, to increase the production of serotonin. The sun hits the skin, serotonin levels go up. The serotonin gets elevated serotonin levels get communicated to the brain, and the brain initiates all of its stress management and its arousal chemistry in response to the sun hitting the skin. Melatonin, on the other hand, is the hormone of relaxation. It's the hormone of growth and repair. It's a nighttime hormone. It's a sleepy time hormone. Serotonin shuts down growth and repair. Melatonin turns it on. Serotonin is the hormone of inflammation. It's the hormone of stress stress management. Serotonin mediates itching and burning sensations. Melatonin, on the other hand, is the hormone of growth and repair. It reduces pigmentation, which, as we said yesterday, is a classic sign of the stress response. Melatonin turns on the production of healing proteins. Melatonin turns on the production of collagen. Melatonin is an important beauty and skin anti-aging supplement. And it's so darn inexpensive. And it helps you sleep. And it's truly a relaxation and antidepressant substance. And you can get a month's worth of melatonin in supplemental fashion for $3. Melatonin turns on collagen, which is the most important structural protein in the body. It turns on the production of collagen, this most important protein in the body. And because melatonin has a stimulating effect on collagen production, turns on collagen production, if you're interested in anti-aging, if you're worried about getting wrinkles, if you're interested in accelerated aging of the skin, you might want to think about taking 3 milligrams of melatonin or 6 milligrams or 9 milligrams of melatonin every night. It'll help you sleep on top of everything else, and it has a nice relaxing antidepressant effect too. This turning on of the building substances in the body, turning on collagen, turning on growth, turning on repair, anti-aging, anti-cancer, all these wonderful properties that you get from melatonin is in addition to melatonin's well-known role as a relaxing and sleepy time substance, relaxing and sleepy time supplement. This is just another example of the health relevance of the two great movements in the body. The two great movements, two great waves of biochemistry in the body. The movement towards stress, the movement towards survival, which is the kingdom of serotonin, and the movement of thrival and growth and repair, which is where melatonin does its work. We'll continue this discussion when we come back. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. Okay, so serotonin and melatonin, these are two opposing hormones. If you want to know what serotonin does, just think about what melatonin does, and then think about the opposite. Melatonin's relaxing. Melatonin helps you sleep. Serotonin is a stress management substance. Serotonin is a daytime arousal hormone. Serotonin will slow down building. Serotonin will increase aging, or increase the rate of aging. Melatonin will slow down the rate of aging and increase growth and repair substances, especially collagen. Even hair growth. There's some literature here. I just got an article this morning, actually, from the British Journal of Dermatology. This was published in 2004. Melatonin used topically was shown to influence the growth of hair in humans. Nobody knew how, according to the study anyway. The mode of action is not known, but certainly it has something to do with this idea of relaxation. Melatonin has also been used to deal with Alzheimer's disease and mental health issues. You can increase melatonin levels by touching, stimulating something called VIP, not very important person, but vasoactive interstitial peptide. VIP is your feel-good protein that's secreted when you get touched. Everybody loves to be touched and pet. Cats, when they're pet, my girlfriend thinks that her cats love her because they when she pets her cats, they purr, but what's really happening when she pets her cats is they're increasing their amount of VIP and melatonin. VIP is a pleasure protein, a pleasure peptide that's upregulated by being touched, and elevations in VIP also elevate melatonin levels. Go get a massage. Even if you just touch your skin very lightly, you'll increase your VIP levels and ultimately increase your melatonin and ultimately increase growth and repair. Babies who aren't touched suffer from failure to thrive. These are all strategies that we can use without doctors, without drugs, without insurance companies. How much does it cost just to touch your skin very, very lightly on the arms? Do it right now. You could feel how it kind of has a pleasurable sensation associated with very lightly touching your arm. And that pleasure sensation is mediated by peptides like VIP, vasoactive interstitial peptide, and the hormone melatonin. So there's two great movements in the body. We talk about this all the time. The movement towards stress, which is the kingdom of serotonin, and the movement towards growth and repair and relaxation, which is the kingdom of melatonin. We have this love-hate relationship in our culture with rest and relaxation, but Isn't it interesting how almost everything in the world of health and wellness revolves around relaxation and rest, and everything around the world of disease and breakdown revolves around survival and stress? Yet we have this kind of love-hate relationship with rest and relaxation. We have somehow bought into this lie from parasites who want to suck our blood, who want to suck our souls, who want to suck our energies, who want to suck our wallets. We bought this lie from these parasites that we have to love our work, that we have to love our servitude. I'm not talking about producing for art and pleasure. I'm not talking about doing things you really want to do. I'm talking about this whole idea of working for a living at a job that we hate for wages we can't live on. We think that if we're resting and relaxing, that we're somehow being lazy. Even if we do it, even when we rest and we relax and we go on vacation, we somehow regard it as a break from what we really should be doing, which is working. We all somehow know we feel better when we're rested and when we are relaxed. But in my humble opinion, we really don't have a proper understanding or respect for the importance, the health importance, the rebuilding, regenerating, growth, anti-aging, anti-cancer, anti-breakdown importance of rest and relaxation. From a biochemical perspective, as it turns out, our instinct to rest and relax is really based on biochemical wisdom, on the intelligence of the body. Now, it's true, I admit, and I want everybody to understand, I know that it's important that we have a certain amount of stress, a small amount of stress, but it needs to be the kind of stress that occurs in intermittent, short bursts, sprinting versus running a marathon. Maybe working for a couple hours a week and playing and painting and singing and dancing and writing the rest of the time. How much would you love your job if you only had to work 5 hours a week? You couldn't wait to get to work if you only worked 5 hours a week, and you'd want to work later if you only worked 5 hours a week. That's the way the body is designed. That's the way the biochemistry of the body is designed. It wants small amounts of stress, small amounts of work, followed by long, luscious rest and relaxation. Some of you guys out there probably think that sounds lazy or slovenly, like the deadly sin of sloth. But from a biochemical perspective, it means health, it means wellness, and it means quality of life. And the alternative, which is chronic, never-ending hard work, means the opposite. It means breakdown, it means aging, it means immune diseases, it means cancer and blood clotting and high blood pressure, and ultimately it means a unfortunately shortened life. So melatonin, which is a nighttime hormone, it tells the body that all is safe in the world. Melatonin falls under the heading of the biochemistry of thrival and building and relaxation. And serotonin, on the other hand, the so-called happy hormone that so many millions of Americans are taking drugs to support, these SSRI drugs, serotonin falls under the heading of threat and survival and arousal, and the skin is making both of these hormones, serotonin and melatonin. Melatonin literally means pigment tightening. Melatonin controls pigmentation and hyperpigmentation or random skin darkening. Technically, it's called melasma. Sometimes people will get something called post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. That's when you get a darkening of the skin in response to swelling or surgery or a cut or a wound. Darkening and hyperpigmentation, melasma, PIH, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, is one of the classic major signs that the body's stress management system has been activated. Pigmentation is one of the ways that the body deals with stress. Pigment has an electrical effect, an electrical dampening effect. Pigment, via this electrical dampening effect, is one of the body's major stress handling tools. Pigment, melanin, and I'm not talking about melatonin here, I'm talking about melanin, is electroconductive, which should come as no surprise as we've been talking about the electrical nature of the skin now for several days. So serotonin is the body's chemistry of chemical of alertness, chemical of arousal. Serotonin tells the brain and the body, hey, watch out for those tigers that are lurking in the bushes. Melatonin says, go to sleep, everything's okay. Melatonin is like a lullaby. Melatonin is like a rockabye baby. Serotonin is like heavy metal. Serotonin is alert. Serotonin is arousal. Serotonin is excitement. Melatonin is a lullaby. Melatonin is sleepy time. Melatonin is relaxing. Now, what do you think is more important, folks? And melatonin, of course, because of its sleepy time effects, is important for growth and regeneration and healing. Serotonin is the opposite. Serotonin causes fibrosis. Serotonin causes clots. Serotonin will slow down this aging, this building and rebuilding process. All right, so there's so much more to talk about here. Tomorrow we will talk about the architecture of the skin, how the skin is structured, and how this relates to the skincare products we use, and how this relates to melatonin, melanin, and serotonin as we continue talking about ways to get yourself off of SSRIs and boost your own biochemistry without drugs, without Obamacare, without insurance company, without doctors. We're coming back with your phone calls right after this. Don't go away. You guys see this study done in England on the flu vaccine, linking a flu vaccine to sleep disorders. New research conducted in England suggests that data from 2 Scandinavian countries that showed that there was some kind of link here. I don't know where it says using the Pandemrix vaccine. Using the Pandemrix vaccine increased the risk of narcolepsy among people aged 4 to 18 by a factor of 14 times compared to those who did not get this flu vaccine. The idea of the flu vaccine, the idea of surgical procedures, the idea of pharmaceutical intervention, it seems like it's just something that's just routine and it doesn't have any problems associated with it. And, we'll just get a flu vaccine and we won't get the flu. Well, the fact of the matter is when you interface with these pharmacological interventions, when you get a medical procedure done, and certainly when you have surgeries done, you're activating the body's stress response. When you activate the body's stress response, there are systemic and global effects that are wide-ranging, from bodily breakdown to problem sleeping to suppressions of the immune system to just not feeling good. And this is because there's 2 major waves in the body. You've got a major wave of rest and relaxation, and you've got a major wave of stress. And the more time you spend in this wave of biochemistry of rest and relaxation, the healthier you're going to be. Flu vaccines, surgical procedures, pharmacological interventions, even eating regular meals, even eating well, activate the body's stress response. And the less time you spend in stress response activation, the healthier you're going to be. If I had to tell you one thing to do to restore yourself back to health, to maintain your health and wellness, to increase your longevity and your quality of life, it would be to spend as much time as you possibly can in rest and relaxation and telling the body that everything is okay. Deep breathing is one of the best strategies for telling the body everything is okay. Eating less food, more nutrients, less calories. A great strategy for telling the body that everything is okay. Using nutritional supplements, and especially using substances like melatonin, are wonderful, inexpensive strategies for telling the body that everything is safe and okay, and restoring the body back to health and wellness, and turning on the growth and regenerating systems of the body, the growth and regenerating chemistry. Telling the body everything is safe and okay through deep breathing, through relaxation techniques, through supplements like melatonin, through eating less processed food, through eating less food in general, and certainly getting on a good nutritional supplement program like the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, and all the supplements that we talk about here on the Bright Side are important and key components of rest and relaxation and anti-aging biochemistry. Okay, our number 855-660-4261, 855-660-4261. Time to take our first phone call of the day. Let's go off to Michigan and welcome Pam to the Bright Side. What is going on, Pam? Good morning.
Hi, Ben. Thank you for taking my call. Great show. I love listening to you.
Thank you. What's up?
Well, I was calling for my sister, but then after listening to your show, I had another question. So I do have 2 questions.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. First of all, my sister, she's type 1 diabetic, and she's insulin dependent.
Okay.
She's been on thyroid medication since she's been 18, and she's 50 now. Recently, she had an EKG, just a regular exam, and then they had the EKG, and they said her heart is enlarged.
Okay.
So, she's worried about that. And
okay, well, you want to hang tight there? You want to address that right now?
Okay.
Okay, now, first of all, she was diagnosed as a diabetic when she was a little girl, I take it?
20 years. So about 20 years now.
20 years ago. How old is she now?
57.
Oh, okay, so she was diagnosed with the autoimmune disease when she was 37. And she had her thyroid diagnosed. She was hypothyroid, diagnosed as hypothyroid when she was 18, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so this is a gal who's been breaking down a long time. And keep in mind, but the thyroid does not just break down on its own. By the time the thyroid breaks down, you've been dealing with blood sugar issues and digestive issues for years. In your sister's case, possibly for 10 or 15 years before that occurred. So there's a few.
Her appendix out when she was like, 7 years old.
There you go. The appendix, by the way, the appendix is a major digestive organ. Major. It's a warehouse for probiotics. Without an appendix, you're at serious risk for digestive issues. So this is a gal who unfortunately was corrupted by the medical model at the age of 6. They removed her appendix. By the time she's 18, her thyroid is now breaking down. She's hypothyroid. By the time she's 37, she's got type 1 diabetes. Now she's dealing with an enlarged heart. Another medical success story. Congratulations, doctors. Are you really proud of your work? Are you really proud of your handiwork? This is what's happening to us, people. This is what's happening when we interface with the doctor. This is why I say you don't want to go anywhere near a doctor. You don't want to go anywhere near the medical model unless you have absolutely no option, unless you need to be stitched up because you got hit by a bus. Excuse me for getting upset there. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're right.
Anyway, Pam.
Right.
All right, so we got water. We got to deal with a gal who's been disfigured, basically, without an appendix. Now she's got an autoimmune disease, and she's dealing with cardiovascular health issues. By the way, the heart enlarges when it's having a hard time pushing blood through. And when it has a hard time pushing blood through the circulatory system, it gets bigger in response to this difficulty that's having pushing blood through, just like any muscle will get bigger when it's working harder. So the fact that she has an enlarged heart is a sign that she's got inflammation in the circulatory system and perhaps in the lymphatic system as well, which makes perfect sense if she doesn't have, she's got a suppressed thyroid and she's got digestive issues and she's got an autoimmune disease. So what do? Number one, first and foremost, we got to work backwards to the digestive system. This is a gal who is screaming for digestive help, for digestive support. So first of all, look to problem foods. Get yourself a notebook, write down everything, or have her get a notebook, have her write down everything she eats and write down how she responds to specific foods within 2 hours after eating, 4 hours after eating, 8 hours after eating, 12 hours, 24 hours, even up to 48 hours after she eats a meal. And she has to be able to link her bowel movement issues. And I will tell you, guaranteed 100%, I'm not Mr. Psychic Man. I'm not Miss Cleo. I don't know anything. I don't have any psychic skills, but I'm telling you, this is a woman who's either constipated or has diarrhea, possibly both. So she has to link her digestive symptoms to specific foods, and those foods need to be eliminated. That's the first and most important thing. If she does nothing but that, she will notice an improvement. If she does nothing but eliminate problem foods, she'll notice improvement. Secondly, she needs to be using probiotics like they're going out of style. Without an appendix, her bacterial flora are guaranteed thrown off. Guaranteed. There's no way this woman can be healthy unless she restores her colon back to a bacterial health integrity, restores the bacterial integrity of her digestive tract. That means fermented foods, sauerkraut, miso, tempeh, kefir, anything fermented. She should be eating lots of it. Lots of fermented foods. Getting on the nightly essence or a good probiotic supplement will also help. Get her on apple cider vinegar and the ultimate enzymes. In fact, super important nutritional supplement next to probiotics. The combination of digestive enzymes, the ultimate enzymes from Longevity, in addition to apple cider vinegar, are also extremely important, along with probiotics, probably the two most important things she could do for her digestive system. I would also throw in, and this is true for anybody who's got diabetes, type 1 or type 2, I would throw in pancreatic enzymes, something called pancreatin. You'll have to get those at the health food store. Ultimate enzymes and pancreatin and apple cider vinegar with all meals. Eating less food will also go a long way towards improving her digestive issues. And then liquid nutrition as much as possible. Reduce the calories, up the nutrients. That means less processed food. I'm sure she's got to be a bread person and a cereal person. Most of us are. Restricting her intake of these kinds of foods and fruits and fruit juices and upping her protein intake, especially whey protein if she can handle it, and essential fatty acids, the ultimate EFAs. Hang tight, Pam. There's tons more I want to tell you. We'll come back, finish up with this phone call from Pam, Tyler, Marie, John, Justin. Hang tight. We'll get to all you guys when we come back from a break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll be back after this. Hi, welcome back to The Bright Side. We're talking to Pam in Michigan about her sister with diagnosis with hypothyroidism at the age of 18, type 1 diabetes at the age of 37, enlarged heart. Number one, Pam, are you there, ma'am?
Man.
Okay, so we want to focus on digestive wellness first. The thyroid is the third point on our triangle of disease. Hypothyroidism will only show up after long-term breakdown, typically of the digestive system and the blood sugar system. And the fact that your sister had her appendix removed at age 6 tells me that she's had some digestive problems pretty much her whole life. So probiotics, good bacteria, fermented foods, number 1. Number 2, digestive enzymes, the ultimate enzymes from longevity, pancreatin, which is pancreatic enzymes, along with apple cider vinegar, with meals, all her meals, eating less food in terms of eating less calories, getting more nutrients in terms of more liquids. That is the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, for example. Smoothies, protein smoothies, especially whey protein, which is wonderful for the digestive system. If she can't do whey protein, I have her try hemp seed protein, which is a close second, or which is second, not a close second, but second. If she can do eggs are also great. Have her do her eggs and her whey protein with her digestive enzymes and apple cider vinegar, and that'll help her absorb some of the protein out of there. And then for the enlarged heart, there's a couple ways you could go. Think of the enlarged heart as the musculature of the heart getting bigger in order to push things through the circulatory system, which is probably inflamed and clogged up from the digestive tract, digestive health issues that she's having. Once she improves her digestion, that will improve her enlarged heart. But in the meantime, you could give her some wonderful cardiovascular nutrients like magnesium. The OsteoFX from longevity is a good source of magnesium. The amino acid arginine is very important for the heart. All the B vitamins are important for the heart, but especially B1, B3, B12. Folic acid is also important for the circulatory system. High doses of the B vitamins. Vitamin C may be the most important vitamin for the heart. I'd be doing 5,000 to 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day, and then focus on restricting refined sugars and carbohydrates, breads, pastas, cereals, potatoes, rice, fruit juices, candies, cakes, pastries, all those kinds of foods, and replace them with protein and the ultimate essential fatty acids and coconut oil from longevity. Doing more protein throughout the day and you doing the Beyond Tangy Tangerine throughout the day, small amounts of protein and sipping on the BTT throughout the day will allow her to wean herself off of snack foods and carbohydrates and those kinds of things that will mess up her blood sugar. But once she straightens out that digestive system with the probiotics, the enzymes, the food diary, eliminating the problem foods, she should notice that her symptoms are starting to improve, especially her circulatory systems and her thyroid health issues as well. You said you had another question, Pam?
Yes. Well, one other thing. She does eat a lot of fish. Is that okay?
Unfortunately, it should be okay, but it's not because of how the oceans are. You want to be a little bit careful with fish, and I hate to say that because fish can be wonderful, easy to absorb protein, and of course good fats. Have her not cook her fish too much, any more than she absolutely has to, because you don't want to damage those fats. And then be a little bit careful with fish, although you got to do what you got to do, and these days it's almost impossible to avoid toxicity. And fish does have some wonderful nutrients, especially protein. So I don't know about a lot of fish. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but see if she can get most of her protein needs met through eggs, if she can handle those in whey protein, and then supplement that with fish. That would be my recommendation. Okay, Pam? Thanks so much for your call. Appreciate it. God bless. And also one last thing, iodoral, which is iodine, easy to absorb iodine. That might be also helpful for her thyroid too. Thanks so much, Pam. Appreciate your call and your kind words. Tyler in Texas, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Ben. I had two quick things for you. One, have you heard of bulletproof coffee or that concept?
Tell me about it.
Basically, you get a high-grade coffee, you mix it with a tablespoon of grass-fed butter and a tablespoon of coconut or MCT oil, and it extends the effect of the coffee for up to 6 hours. And if you do it early in the morning, it's supposed to keep the fat-burning process going. I just thought I'd mention it.
I can see that. Well, caffeine's got some wonderful fat-burning properties, and the way you want to do your caffeine is in coffee. Caffeine gets a bad rap. Small amounts of caffeine shouldn't be a problem, and certainly you'll speed up fat burning, and you'll also improve your brain's ability to think. There's a lot of really good research on caffeine being a nootropic substance, a learning aid substance, and I don't have a problem with caffeine, especially if it comes in coffee. And there's some great nutrients in coffee as well. You don't want to go crazy with it, but I like that. That's kind of clever. Butter and coconut oil with the coffee. Does it taste pretty good?
Yeah, it tastes fantastic.
Yeah, that makes sense, though. That would give you a sustained release effect on the caffeine. I could see how that works. Sounds interesting. What was your second question, Tyler?
Well, I'm taking whey protein and egg protein, and I'm trying to make that most of my protein. I'm doing the Tangy Tangerine, EFAs.
What are you noticing?
Biolumin, Nightly Essence.
What are you noticing, Tyler?
I'm noticing that I'm feeling fantastic, and I don't really have a down point in energy in the day. But the main question I had for you is, First of all, I'm just doing the bioluminescent essence at night. I'm not doing digestive enzymes through the day. And one thing I'm noticing is that I'm probably not getting enough fiber. I'm trying to get it from whole grains and kimchi. Where should I be getting my fiber?
Get yourself a Vitamix or some kind of high-powered blender and grind up vegetables. That's probably the best way. Juicing is wonderful, but if you use those standard juicers, you lose the fiber. But if you get a Vitamix or a super high-powered blender, there's a few of them out now, you'll get the fiber in your juice. What I do personally is I grind up flax seeds every morning. I put maybe 4 tablespoons of flax seeds in a little coffee grinder, press the button, and then 5 seconds later, I've got some delicious fiber, and then I dump that in my smoothie, and that gets me 40 to 60 grams of fiber every day just from flax seeds. And flax seeds will get you vitamins and vitamin E, and they'll get you protein and essential fatty acids in addition to the fiber. You can use pistachios or almonds or pumpkin seeds. Try to stay away from roasted nuts. Roasting destroys the fats. You want your nuts to be in the shell if possible, and then shell them yourself and raw if possible. That's why I like the flax seeds. And golden flax seeds, by the way, have more nutritional value than the brown flax seeds. But vegetable fiber and seeds, ground up seeds, are the best way to get your fiber, in my opinion. Does that help, Tyler?
That helps fantastically. Thank you so much, Ben.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good day, Tyler. Okay, John in Virginia, what's going on?
My mother has osteoporosis. It's really bad. And
okay. How old is she?
She's 84.
Okay. All right, so you're not going to be able to do too much to reverse her lifestyle at the age of 84. Older folks typically aren't going to be too eager to change habits that they've had for 7 or 8 decades. So you got to do what you can do. Osteoporosis is a breakdown disorder. The body is breaking down faster than it's building up. So what you want to do is you want to attempt, anyway, with an 84-year-old woman, it's going to be a little bit harder. You want to attempt to reverse that breakdown into build up, and there's a lot of ways you can do that. Probably the most important way is to make sure that she's absorbing her nutrients out of the digestive tract. That means acidification of the stomach, making sure that she's got enough acid in the stomach. Use apple cider vinegar after meals and digestive enzymes after meals. Very, very important. Digestive enzymes and apple cider vinegar help the body absorb the nutrients for building bone and building tissue that are in food. And then also pancreatin, as we were talking about earlier, that might be helpful too. So digestive enzymes, pancreatin, apple cider vinegar. Step number 1 for osteoporosis. Step number 2, more protein. Depending on how much she weighs, probably half a gram to a gram of protein per pound of body weight. Whey protein is probably the best bone-building protein there is. Egg protein is also okay. I'd be careful with meat protein with a woman, 84-year-old woman. It might be hard for her to process small amounts of meat, maybe. Make sure it's grass-fed and antibiotic-free, of course. Minerals are also important. Make sure she's using her minerals with her apple cider vinegar. Most minerals require a functioning fat absorption system, and most minerals require a stomach acid or at least apple cider vinegar for their absorption. Calcium, magnesium, zinc, and strontium and silica are all very important for bone health. You'll get all that in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine product. You may want to throw in a little bit of the OsteoFX as well. Make sure she's taking maybe around 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of magnesium a day, maybe 2,000 milligrams of calcium a day. Get her out in the sun if she can handle the sun. Sun helps your body make vitamin D, which is important for the absorption of calcium. Make sure she's taking all of her minerals with meals and her protein with meals and apple cider vinegar to help increase the absorption. Probiotics may also help. If you can get her to do some weight-bearing exercise, that's also important. I'm not talking about necessarily getting her on some ridiculous weightlifting program, but even something like walking upstairs, or maybe walking up 1 or 2 stairs, or even sitting down and standing up slowly, maybe once or twice a day, sitting up, coming from a sitting position to a standing position, back down into a sitting position slowly. Even if she does that once or twice a day, that can help build the bones in the lower and even the upper part of the body if she does it super carefully. Exercise does not have to be intense in order for it to be effective. You can get a wonderful workout in 30 or 60 seconds, especially if she's 84 years old. Activating the relaxation response with things like melatonin and deep breathing techniques and the B complex are also important for all rebuilding. Get her on 3 to 6 milligrams of melatonin and have her practicing her deep breathing techniques. And then the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, if she sips on that all day long, that will help her with her B complex. And vitamin C and glucosamine are also very important for joint and bone health. take the two together. The glucogel caps are a great source of glucosamine. Thank you so much, folks. That's all we got time for today. If we left you on hold, I apologize. Call first thing in the morning, first thing tomorrow morning, and we'll get you up at the top of the second segment. Stay tuned for Alex Jones next. On most of these stations, we'll talk about skin health tomorrow on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.